I bought a $48,000 SUV 3 months after landing in Winnipeg because the dealership told me it was the only way to prove I was credit worthy in Canada. They said, and I quote, "You have no credit file, but if you take this loan at 5%, you are building your future." I signed the papers because I was terrified of looking like I did not belong. That single signature cost me $11,000 in interest and trapped me in a payment cycle that kept me broke for 2 years. It was the dumbest financial move I've ever made, and I see skilled immigrants make exactly this mistake, or worse, every single week. If you are a professional moving to Canada, you are walking into a financial system designed to misunderstand you. I know because I sit on both sides of this table. I spent over 20 years in HR and business strategy hiring thousands of people across 4 continents. I went through the Canadian immigration process myself, landing as a temporary resident right here in Winnipeg. I am not a finance guru guessing at your pain. I sat in your seat. I stared at the blank credit report. And today, as a university lecturer who studies these systems, I am going to show you how to protect the wealth you brought with you. Before we fix the mistakes, we need to look at the data that proves you're being set up to fail. A 2025 survey from TD Bank found that 92% of newcomers know a credit score is important, but right behind that, 82% hit a wall the moment they actually apply for a product. It is not that you are clueless, it is that the system sees your zero file as a risk and it prices that risk onto you. Then look at what happens when that pricing kicks in. A 2025 Equifax Canada report showed the auto loan delinquency rate for younger drivers jumped by 30% compared to the year before. That number does not exist because these drivers are irresponsible. It exists because they were pushed into high payment loans on depreciating assets the second they arrived, which we are going to talk about shortly. And here's the stat that should scare you the most. A 2024 Statistics Canada report on employment quality revealed that Filipino immigrants face a negative 25% wage gap and Black immigrants a negative 22% gap compared to non-racialized workers. That is even when holding a bachelor's degree. If you arrive and immediately trap yourself in heavy consumer debt, and then the labor market undervalues your skills, you do not have a safety net, you have a trapdoor. Now, let me tell you a story about how I personally learned that gap. I mentioned my SUV disaster, but the real problem started months before that purchase. Before I left Abu Dhabi, I had an 800 plus credit score. I had managed multi-million-dollar operational budgets. I thought Canada would welcome me with a premium credit card and a handshake. When I walked into a Big Five bank branch, the advisor typed my information into the system and stared at the screen like it was broken. "You are a ghost," he said. He offered me a secured credit card with a $1,000 limit. I was insulted. My pride looked at that tiny plastic card and said, "No, I need to show them I am serious." So instead of building credit slowly, I let a car salesman convince me that a massive auto loan was the fast track to a good score. I misunderstood the game entirely. I thought high borrowing equaled high trust. In reality, I just chained my monthly cash flow to a machine that lost value every single day I drove it. I also totally ignored the tax-free savings account, what we call a TFSA, because I assumed it was just a savings account earning 0.1% interest. Nobody told me it was the most powerful tax-sheltered investing tool in the country. I waited 2 years to open one. That delay alone probably cost me $30,000 in future tax-free gains. So how do you avoid the ghost trap, the car trap, and the tax trap? Here's the framework you can implement this week. Step 1. Put the relationship before the credit score. When you land, you do not need a $10,000 credit card limit today. You need a relationship with a financial institution that reports to the bureaus. Walk into any of the 13 major banks like RBC or Scotiabank and ask specifically for the newcomer no-cost account. A 2025 federal mandate ensures you can get a bank account for $0 a month in your first year. Do not just take the welcome package brochure. Say this exact script to the teller. "I understand I am eligible for the no-cost newcomer package, which includes a small credit card or secured card to start building my history. Please explain the application process for that specific card." If they push you toward a premium account with a $30 monthly fee, push back. You need a starter account, not a burden. Step 2, delay the pride purchase. I do not care if you drove a Mercedes in Delhi or Dubai. In Canada, a new car loan is wealth destruction in year one. The average new auto loan in 2024 was over $35,000. Do not take that on. Buy a used Honda or Toyota with cash or a high down payment for the first 12 months. Use those months to build your credit history through a basic credit card, not through a massive depreciating liability. When you buy a used car for $8,000 cash, you give yourself $400 a month in cash flow that the guy driving the new Tesla does not have. Use that $400 to invest. Step 3, open a TFSA on day one, even if you have no money. Go to a platform like Wealthsimple or Questrade. Do not just get an advisor at a big bank who sells you high-fee mutual funds that pay them a trailer commission. Open a self-directed TFSA. Even if you just put $20 a week into a broad market ETF inside that account, you are starting the clock. The contribution room accumulates every year you are a resident. If you wait 5 years to understand it, you have lost tens of thousands of dollars in tax-free contribution room you cannot get back. Step 4, diversify away from the Big Five banking monopoly. The Big Five banks are excellent for your checking account and mortgage, but terrible for your daily returns. Relying on them for everything means you accept high trading fees and low savings interest rates. Bridge yourself to a high-interest savings ETF or a credit union. That low-cost account mandate we discussed applies to many smaller players like Tangerine or Innovation Credit Union as well. You want your banking to be free and your investing to be automated, not a phone call to a salesperson disguised as an advisor. Step 5, treat your foreign experience as a salary ceiling, not a floor. This is the most painful lesson. The 2025 wage gap data proves the market will discount you initially. You have to budget like a local apprentice for the first 6 to 12 months, even if you were a senior manager back home. If you set your lifestyle based on your destination job salary, but you are stuck in a survival job, you will bridge that gap with credit cards. That is how the 19% interest rate trap ensnares you. Live on the income you actually have, not the income you are qualified to earn. Here's the summary you need to remember. The Canadian financial system profits from your impatience. Your credit score is a marathon, not a sprint. Your empty TFSA is a ticking clock that you own. But here's what nobody tells you. Even if you nail all 5 of these money moves, the system can still break your confidence in ways you do not expect. I know because I lived it. I worked across 30 countries before Canada looked at my resume and said, not enough Canadian experience. I want you to watch that story next. The video is called I Worked in 30 Countries, Then Canada Made Me Start Over. Here's the financial reality. It is the raw truth about what happens when your global credentials hit a brick wall and how you rebuild anyway. Tap the link on screen right now and subscribe so you do not miss what comes after that.